Welcome to the Bodybuilding Banter podcast, your number one source of all things bodybuilding. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on future episodes. Now, here's your host, Leroy Rollins.
All right, people, I'd like to thank my man Anthony for coming on to the podcast. Anthony, introduce yourself to the people, tell them what you're all about, and then we'll just start chatting.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you having me on here. So my name's Anthony. Obviously, I'm an online fitness coach and personal trainer. So majority of my clients are online, either bodybuilding focused, like physique oriented, or lifestyle clients. People who just want to lose body fat. And then I also do I teach classes at Orange Theory Fitness. So I'm a group personal trainer. Mm-hmm. And then I have a few clients that I train on my own, just like 2 clients where I do one-on-one with them. Yep. But again, like 90% of my client base is online. So I also compete somewhat infrequently in CPA. So my last show was 2016, competed in classic physique and men's physique. Okay, and nice. That was at the Barrie Natural Classic. Yep. So both of them didn't place well at all. I never got into competing to really strive to place well anyways. It was kind of just to see my body improve from show to show. For sure. But I haven't competed since because I didn't have enough muscle. So that's fair. With classic physique, I'm like 5'9.5", 5'10", and my cutoff is 185. Right. So last show I came in 167, and I'm allowed to weigh up to 185. So I got dwarfed. You
look like the small guy up there, right? It's the worst.
Yeah, I was a small guy. So now I'm just gonna keep focus on growing until I feel ready to jump back on stage. Nice. That's about it, man.
How old are you?
22.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right on. So you got lots of time.
Yeah. There's no rush. Like I don't have any crazy urge to step on stage. Like I'm cool with chilling. I enjoy the energy of the off season. Yeah. So I'm like, it's all good.
Right on. All right, man. Let's go back then. What kind of got you into the gym? So obviously 2016 you competed. What kind of brought you to that stage?
So when I was 16, I was really into. I found Ziz. Yeah. So when I was 16, I watched videos of Ziz. Yeah. And Jeff Side later, but Ziz started it, and always watched him at festivals and stuff. Yeah. And I was super shy. I was that skinny kid who does 110 pounds. Okay. So when I saw Ziz getting all the attention and stuff, I was from girls and everyone just in general, more attention. I wanted more attention, and I was shy. So I put 2 and 2 together. I was like, yo, if I can get a body like his, then I'm gonna just get everyone coming to me. I wouldn't even have to go and talk to people because I was shy, right? Yeah. So 16, I started training. I was training 5 days a week, right? But it's so funny. I was already skinny, but I was like, man, I gotta get shredded. So I did cardio, and I was tracking.
You're like, I'll get skinnier. That's what I'll do.
Right? I didn't have muscle yet, and I'm like, man, I gotta get shredded though. Yeah. So I was doing cardio after every workout, and I was tracking my intake, and I was eating 1,800 a day, 1,800 calories at 16 years old. Did that for a couple of years. No gains my first 3 years. Okay, so you got
reverse beginner gains.
literally. And then once I was about 18 years old, that's when I became a personal trainer, and I was like, man, one day I really want to step on a stage, right? Yep. So men's physique was the first one. So I did my first show when I was 19. Okay. In men's physique, and it was in the junior category. And, placed last, and I didn't come in nearly as conditioned. Coached myself. Okay. Still did I ended up cheating a couple weeks out and stuff, right? Yeah. So, that's what that happened there. Then I just finished school because I went to college. Mm-hmm. I did 2 years in fitness and health promotion. Okay. Then I went to University of Guelph for human kinetics. Yep. I just did 1 year there and then dropped out because I was I had my online coaching business. I had a lot of things that were going on, and it's been growing in school, so I kind of just stayed out. Did my second show around that time when I was 20. Well, after I was 20, I was almost 21 at that point, and then now I've been chilling for a while. Yeah. Off season. Awesome.
So, talk to me about the online coaching. So, when did you get started with that? How did it kind of start to grow? Obviously, from your Instagram, you're pretty booming, right? So talk to me about that. How did that process come to be?
So initially started when I was 18. Okay. I started helping out all my friends with their training and their nutrition because I was just the go-to guy. After every single day in high school, I'd go home and just I was literally just reading peer-reviewed literature. I would just search up topics I want to learn about, or podcasts, and I watched YouTube videos. So I kind of just was consumed in all that stuff every day. So I started helping out my friends, made programs for them for free. Cool. Then when I went away to school, I competed in one show. So then everyone at school was reaching out to me because like I competed in a show. So everyone thought I was like special. Right?
Yeah, this guy knows his stuff.
Yeah. So then I started charging at that point. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to start charging people with this. Yeah. So I was doing that. And then one of my classes was a business class that we had, and we had to make a website for something. Perfect. So I made a website so I made a website for online coaching. Yeah. And then had to make a business plan for it. So I just kind of built upon it in college. So I kind of just kept going with it. Sure. And then I started seeing like I was making like $1,500 a month, like while I was in school. Yeah. So I was like, damn. Right? So, and it was all online. It was stuff I loved doing, right? I was making programs for people. Yeah. Had like 10 clients, and I'm just like, this is chill. So that once I saw the potential there, I'm like, so I just kept going with it. Yeah. So I've just been growing since then.
Nice. So where are most of your clients like coming from? Like what was the difference between where they would come from at the beginning to now?
Is it like where they're coming from?
Yeah, like how are people finding you? Like obviously before it was more Instagram so in school. Now. It's definitely Instagram.
Yeah, it's 90% is Instagram. Yeah. Like at the beginning, it was all school and then referral.
Word of mouth.
School referral. Sure. Because I'd help people at school and then they refer their friends. Now it's like 90% Instagram and then like 10% referrals. Like I haven't been even asking for referrals lately, but I get some from referrals. Yep.
Do you have a Facebook page and website like busy, or is it mostly Instagram?
It's mostly Instagram. I have the websites set. Like I run ads and stuff. For Google Ads. Like I do like Google Ads as well for my website, but I get like I might get like 1 or 2 leads from like the internet, and the ones from the internet, man, they've like asked for refunds. Like I would make they're not so like it's hard to explain. Like they're not, since we don't have like a personal connection. They come in and then they're like, I want to do this. So I'm like, no problem. Make everything for it and like send it off. Like 2 days later, they're like, this isn't what I expected. I want a full refund. I'm expecting a refund. So I've had a lot of trouble from people like online just because we don't have the connection. They think they can just like do whatever, right? Yeah. So, it's all right.
So what's the process from someone messages you, like say someone DMs you and they're like, hey man, like I've seen what you're doing. Looks good. I want to hop on board. What's like, the next 2 or 3 steps from that for somebody?
Yeah, for right there, we hop on a phone call. Okay. And I'll just ask them, when can you schedule a call? Ask them their goals. Ask them where they're trying to get to, where they're currently at. Just like things about them, like what they're currently eating, if they know how much they're eating. Yep. What their schedule is like, and then from then I'll just explain a few of my different services. Yep. I'll do full coaching, or I'll just do nutrition and accountability coaching. Okay. Or I'll do a one-off meal plan and one-off program. Yep. So there's a price range, right? So it's whatever the person can afford. If they can't afford full coaching, then we'll just work with what they can afford. So I'll ask other questions to see what's best for them, and then I'll kind of just say, I think this is going to be best for what you're looking for and how much you're willing to spend, and then we'll just go with that option. And then from then on, if we're going to go with that, then I send them my client intake form. It's about 30 questions. Cool. It goes into a lot more detail on their food preferences, all these things. Get some more info. After that, I give them a client agreement. We get the payment set up. And then I'll work on creating their starting protocols. Nice.
So what's your like retention rate? How often, like, do you have people that are monthly on rolling, or are they in and out?
Yeah, monthly. So it's just pay as you go each month, and average client stays for 3 to 6 months.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. So would you say like online coaching is like your biggest income source now?
Yeah, by far.
Yeah. So what have you found, like for marketing wise, what's been, the best practices for you that's like gotten you leads and stuff like that? Is it photos, video, audio? Like what's your best practice?
Yeah. So for me, it's been stories, Instagram stories.
Oh, okay.
Lately.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just started recently doing this. I kind of invested in like a lot of courses on like social media courses and stuff. Yep. And I have an email list as well. I'm not too active on my email list. I send some stuff, but I don't go too crazy on that. Yep. But most of it, so I've been doing more calls to action in my stories. So what I'll do is I'll talk about like a topic. I'll do whatever people want to learn about. I'll talk about it in the story, and then I'll literally just say DM me if you have questions, or DM me if you want to talk more about this. Yeah. And then if someone DMs me, then like they're 90% interested in coaching. Yep. they're totally a candidate for coaching. So even if they just DM me a question, they're like, oh, like what's this? I'll go ahead right there. I'm like, oh, I'd love to help you out with that. Let's hop on a quick phone call.
Nice. That's
so then
cool.
I'll talk on the phone and just see what they're really looking for, and then I usually have the solution to their goal.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Talk about that. So that's usually how I get the most actually.
That's smart. So when you do your stories, do you have like a certain topic list that you're going to go through, or you're just like, you know what, I'm going to talk about protein today and see what happens?
Yeah, so recently I had it more scheduled, and I would have like things I want to talk about. Like some days would be more, you can just do more motivation stuff. But then recently I've been doing more winging it. I've been winging it lately. Just talking about what I think people want to learn about.
Yeah.
And I'll use polls. So using polls is a lot better.
It's handy, because you can instantly get like feedback. Like, what should I talk about tomorrow? And you get like 2 options, and boom, you know which one's going to be the most popular.
Yeah. And another one with that was been key is even if you ask, let's say you do a poll in a story, you can say like you can ask any specific question and then give them like the 2 options and say like, do you track calories? Yes or no?
Right? Yeah.
And then if someone says you look at all the people who say no or all the people who say yes, then you can actually go on that list and just like reach out to those people individually and talk to them about it.
Perfect. Yeah, that's like, it's like your own like private email list, like right off the hop, eh?
Yeah. So that's been huge. That's been a game changer.
Instagram's like on it, eh? Like it just makes it so good for us.
Dude, 100%. It's awesome, man.
That's sweet. All right, let's talk more about your training and your nutrition. So it started off with you getting super skinny, right? What changed from that? So you're like, okay, the whole skinny thing's not what I want. I want to build muscle. So what was your training looking like after that?
So I ran like kind of a push-pull leg split for like 2 years straight.
Yep.
Changed up the exercise and stuff, but I stuck with that split. And that was pretty solid. So surprisingly, ever since I started training from 16, like I was crushing legs twice a week.
Okay.
So I was always been a big focus on my so like they became like a strong point now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to balance out, but
for sure.
But yeah, so the first years I was doing that was kind of just starving myself, and then I realized, okay, this doesn't get me anywhere.
Yeah.
I need to commit to a bulk, and I was still kind of insecure, right? I guess it kind of everyone is when you're like 18.
You're awkward, right? Everybody's awkward at 18.
Yeah. So like, I didn't want to bulk because like I noticed like as soon as I start to eat more, like my face would get like fatter, and I'm like, oh dude, like I can't afford to bulk.
Yeah.
I want to look good all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that's like half the reason why I held back from bulking. But then, I finally realized, I'm like, dude, I got to commit to some investment phase here. So around like my 3rd or 4th year of lifting, I kind of actually went ahead and did like a gaining phase. Yep. I was eating like 3,500, 3,200 a day, depending on the day. Mm-hmm. Did that for a while. And then now recently, up until like what I'm doing now is I'm having 3,500 a day on training days. Okay. It's about 200 protein, 450 carb, and 80 fat. Okay. Yeah, that's on training days. Rest days about 3,200, just lower on the carbs. Sure. Yep. And keep the protein the same. Yep. Training now. Recently, I really started skipping leg days. So, it's been magical for me though. It's been magical. Yeah. So I'm 191 pounds. Yep. At about 5'10" almost. Yep. And now I'm training legs once every 10 days. Right. So like a week and a half, I'm hitting legs. Sure. Really bumped up the frequency on chest and shoulders because that's kind of like a lacking point for me. Okay. And the last few months, like I've just been making steady progress in my upper body with that. So that I kind of found that's what's working right now for me. Mm-hmm. And calves are lacking. Calves have always been lacking. Yeah. So I'm crushing.
Join
calves
the party, man.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Dude, crushing calves like 3 times a week.
Nice.
How are you doing with your training though? Like, what do you do for calves and stuff?
So I'm actually in prep right now, so not a whole lot's going to be happening as far as gains go. But I've been trying to do it more. Like I just, do you know Fidel Clark, Posing with the Pro? Have you ever heard of him? Yeah. So I was actually up with him on the weekend doing some posing and stuff, and he was like, "Everything's good." He's like, "But you just like, as soon as you get down to your calves, it's just not like I can flex them and they're there, but it's not like." It's like when I hit a pose, it kind of just like I forget or something. Like I can't sync it. Yeah. I don't know you know what I mean? And so then on Saturday, I was like, okay, I need to like get this shit figured out. So I went and I did like after every set for legs. So I'd do like hamstring curls, go do a set of calves. Then I would do like 4 sets of that. And then I would do like, squats, do another set of calves on like a different machine. So I would do like Smith calf raises, leg press calf raises. Like I was just trying to do everything, and like I couldn't walk on Monday, but whatever.
Could walk Monday.
I feel like I pulled everything in my lower leg, but whatever.
It's all right.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Minor detail.
Yeah, that's what I'm basically doing for training though.
Yeah, just the basics. So, what's your thoughts on nutrition? So, a lot of people, it's either you're a clean eater, right, the bro diet, or it's if it fits your macros, flexible dieting. What is your take on that? A, for yourself, and B, for clients.
Yeah, for myself and clients, definitely a flexible dieting approach, unless you're on prep and you're, especially as you're getting closer towards show day. So totally cool with a flexible dieting approach up until around 8 weeks out.
Sure.
And then get more strict with sticking to the same foods at least.
Yep. Just
so your body's used to consuming the same foods.
No, exactly.
And then you can control the variables. Like less variables, the better, right?
Yeah.
So flexible, like pretty much all the time until like 8 weeks out. Like it just, hit your macros, hit minimum fiber intake.
Yep.
Make sure you're hydrated, have enough water, and I don't have any issues. That's pretty much how I do it for myself and for clients.
That fiber one's key, because a lot of people, like carbs is a big one. People try to like mess with, they'll save all their carbs for like ice cream at the end of the day, but then you're not going to hit that fiber. So that's good that you mentioned that, because that's something that I agree with. People overlook. They're not going to be getting in vegetables and stuff if they don't technically have to, but if they have to hit that fiber, then there's certain foods that are going to meet that requirement and certain ones that are not.
Yeah, same thing with me, man. Like there's so many times where like, especially you're in a gaining phase, like dude, like last thing you want to eat is vegetables. So it's like,
they're not calorie dense, right? Like you're not, health is screw health. I just want to get huge.
Dude, and like, your appetite's decreasing. Like the last thing you want is some kind of bland. It tastes more bland when you're, vegetables taste great when you're cutting. But freaking gaining, you're like, nah, dude, I don't want no vegetables, man. Yeah,
for sure. So have you saw, clients successful with the flexible approach? Like, what do you suggest to someone that's new to that? Like most people are still like, especially older than you and I, are like, give me my meal plan. What do I have to eat every day? And it's like, you don't always have to do that. Like for me with clients, like I'll do like, okay, here's like a sample day with like hitting their macros. And then here's like the foods that like, if you switch these out, it'll basically hit the numbers the same. You know what I mean? Like if you're needing like 30 grams of protein for a meal, here's like 10 foods that give you 30. All right. I found success with that. So what about you? Do you have people that are like overly flexible, or are they just not getting it and stuff like that?
Yeah, so it depends. So the lifestyle clients, people who just, if they're same thing, if they're like 30 to 50 years old and they just want to lose some body fat, definitely very stubborn in the sense that they just want to stick to a meal plan. Like, tell me what to eat. I'm just going to eat it for the rest of my life. Yeah. And I'm like, no, we can't do that.
That's not going to work.
Yeah. So those people, what I do is we set them up with a meal plan first, just like they want it. Yep. And if we're doing monthly coaching, I give them the meal plan, and it's 2 different options on training days, like 2 different full meal plans, kind of like you're doing.
Okay. 2
different options on training days for variety, and like hitting the same macros, and then 2 different meal plans on rest days. Okay. They both equal the same macros.
Yep.
And I make that, and I have included a grocery list up top of like section off the carbs, fats, proteins, and vegetables, right?
Yep.
And I put the list there for them. And we stick to the meal plan, and then maybe after like the first month of them doing that, I start to reach out and like, okay, let's try to get more flexibleness. So let's try to hit macro targets in like a meal. So then I'll say, if they're open to it, 90% of like they refuse it. They're like, no, I don't feel comfortable doing that. Let's just stay with this. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. But then I always try to push it. Like, it's not sustainable to stick with the meal plan. Like you need to be able to swap foods as you please.
Yeah.
So I'll eventually work them towards hitting macro targets per meal.
Okay.
And if they can do that, then I'll say, okay, here's your numbers. If we get to that stage, here's your numbers for the day. Just hit those numbers, use whatever foods you want, and then we're good from there. But that's a very rare case that people get to that. Most don't even get to that. Yeah. If they're competing, people might call like prep clients and stuff, like they can totally do that. It's no problem.
Yeah, it's interesting the differences between people, how like the people that are like in prep that you would think would be so anal about things can be more flexible, and the people that like have the most freedom don't want it.
Yeah, because they don't trust themselves with freedom.
Yeah, they think they're just gonna like freak out.
They're gonna screw it up. They're like, dude, just tell me what to do. I'll put my blinders on and I'll just suffer. I'm like, dude, you can't do that. Whatever.
No, and that's the problem, right? You get to then it becomes like that. Families coming over and everybody's having pizza, and then that like they can't fit in 2 slices. It turns into like one massive binge, and it's like, man,
we're trying to teach them the skills. Yeah, we're trying to teach them the skills.
Yeah,
but they're like, no, like they're refusing it because they know it's like they're just stuck in their ways kind of thing. They don't want to have to put in the effort to kind of control and just swap out, right? They don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. Which ultimately leads to failure, which is ironic.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you have people use like MyFitnessPal like on their phones and stuff? Is that kind of like if you're going to say, okay, you know, you get to that stage where you're like, okay, here's your X macros per meal, start, you know, playing around with things. Is that kind of what you do?
Yeah. So right now, I was just talking to a client earlier through email. We're doing the exact same thing. So pretty much training her on how to use MyFitnessPal, explaining how to do it. And then we're just setting like mini tasks up, like, okay, try to do this, you know, like I said, with the macro targets per meal.
Yeah.
But we're using MyFitnessPal for every client who's able to track macros.
Nice. What's your ratio of like who's doing like flexible versus clean?
I'd say about 70% are just meal, like on a meal plan.
Yep.
And 20 to 30% are tracking macros.
Yeah, it's funny how much smaller that is, you know. And again, like we just said, like it's the people with the most freedom that can't do it. Yeah.
What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, like I find kind of similar to your situation. You know, it's like, okay, here's your plan. This is your playroom. And then after like, you know, a week or two, it's like, okay, how's things going? They're like, good, I had this, and this every day. And it's like, good, but I mean, you don't have to. Like, I guess if they don't hate it, you know what I mean? Like, if you find enjoyment out of it, it's like for me on prep, like I eat the same thing, like just out of habit, and I don't hate it, right? People look at me, they're like, you're eating that again? And it's like, yeah, I don't just, like, if I didn't like it, I would switch it up.
Yeah, like, it
right?
still tastes good to you. So you're like, dude, like, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care, right? But if it's like, you know, someone's, you know, a week or two into their flexible approach or their clean plan, I should say, and they're like, man, I hate this. And it's like, okay, well, let me know so we can change things.
Yeah.
Like I had somebody who tried to do keto forever, and that's like super limiting, right? And like they hated it. And I'm like, well, why are you doing it? They're like, well, weight loss. I'm like, well, no, you don't have to do that. You know what I mean? It's just people get like so one-tracked on things.
Yeah, it's like single-minded focus. It's like, oh yeah, this is like I got to do this. I know that if I just do this, I'll be good.
Yeah.
Like they'll just focus on that. They don't know any other way type of thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like yesterday, actually, this blew my mind. Okay, you ready for this? This is gonna freak you out. One of my clients, he's 66, right? He's like shredded to the nines because he's like got see-through skin, right? Like you can see like striations in his traps. Like it's ridiculous. But his son is down like 60 pounds following keto. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, but what's your game plan like after that? Like, it doesn't seem to be proven sustainable for long, right? Because you're super limited. And he's like, well, eventually, like, I want to use it to get all the weight off. And then once I'm done, then slowly start graduating to like more of a flexible, like kind of sustainable meal plan. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, you know, long term. But then he was like, so I had my cheat day 3 months in. And I'm like, okay. He's like, I ordered a large meat lovers from Pizza Hut, 20 boneless wings, 20 chicken bites, like a garlic bread thing, and a 2-liter Coke. And he ate that all over the course of a day.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? I'm like, why'd you? Like, I was literally in shock. I'm like, why'd you do that? He's like, and he like kind of stuttered because he didn't have a good answer. I'm like, that didn't taste good at the end of the day. He's like, no, I was sick for like 3 days after. I'm like, well, then why would you do that? Yeah. Right? But it's like that all or nothing mentality.
Yeah, honestly, it's all or nothing mentality. That's exactly what I was going to say.
So when you have people come to you with like struggles like that, what do you suggest? Like if someone's like, say you give them their meal plan, right? For a month they're on it, right? Which is a lot of people, right? That 4 to 6 weeks, they're killing it. Motivation's high. They're feeling good. You know, they're probably seeing decent results. And then that little buzz, right, after having that phone call with you, right, starts to dwindle. What do you do about that?
Yeah, so that's happened a lot of times. Like I can give some examples. Like one example, you know, like you've been going great for like 4 or 6 weeks, and then something happens like that, and then I'm like reaching out to them, asking them how they're doing, and like I don't get any replies for a couple days. Yeah, so you kind of know something's fishy, right? And then
something's up if they're not replying.
Yeah, and then like about a week, they're like, you know, they confess. They're like, oh, you know, like this happened, and it kind of just triggered this, and I totally fell off the wagon. Yeah. And then I'm basically just I kind of motivate them to get on like to stay back on track. I'm like, okay, let's just slowly get like go back to what we were doing,
Yeah.
and let's find ways to actually like increase flexibility within it. So that
Yeah.
like if it's an issue, that means clearly it was too much of a drag on them.
Yeah.
It was too straining.
Yeah.
So that there comes a point where you can only be so strict for so long where you snap, right?
Yeah.
So clearly it's a sign we need to find some more ways to add in more flexibility.
Yep.
So I'll work towards doing the same thing, like trying to teach them more. I'll give them more attention so we can work on the macros thing.
Yep.
Give them more ideas of food selection, and some people actually have one cheat meal a week. So
Yeah,
it depends on
100%.
the person. So some people I put one cheat meal a week if they know they have a specific day of the week where they're going to go out with a spouse or they're just going to go out with
Yep.
friends or something.
Yep.
That's what they do. And then I even also have some clients who were very fat, like they were overweight their whole life.
Yep.
And then, they finally lost, or we worked together, finally lost the weight. And they're so paranoid to gain the fat back, right?
Yeah.
So they want to stay extremely strict, like they want to, because they're so paranoid to add in flexibility that they're going to gain the fat back. And I totally understand where they're coming from with that. That's fair. So with those people,
it's an understanding fear, like you said, right? It's like they've been this way their entire life. They found something that works, and it's like, okay, if I deviate from this, I'm just going to gain it all back.
Yeah, exactly. So those people are kind of more paranoid. So we got to do it really slow. So I had one guy, I was working with him. He did no sugar, no sodium. He wasn't working out though.
Yeah.
But I told him, I was like, we're going to start like training. Like,
in the
you're going to
gym.
need sodium.
Yeah.
So I was like, we got to add in like some sodium. And then he was like so totally fearful. It took a while of convincing. So we finally like added in some sodium. I was like, just keep your water intake high, like you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then after like a month after that, we added in a whey protein supplement that had 1 gram of sugar. He was like terrified at first.
He's like, oh my God.
He's like, dude, I can't have sugar. I'm like, no. It's like, I had to convince him. Like, it took time. Like, it's some hand holding, but like finally got to it. And then now we're at the point we reverse dieted him. His calories are like higher.
Nice.
And he kept the fat off. And like now he's having barbecue sauce like on his meals.
And he can sleep easy at night.
He's like, dude, I didn't think I could ever do this. I'm like, man, I'm just glad you kind of listened and we got you there,
It's educating, right? Like at the end of the day, you want everybody to be successful, and it's like there's so many hurdles, especially with like, populations like 30, 40, 50 where there's all that old school mentality with stuff like I can't have fat, I can't have sugar, no carbs before bed, just random shit, that just
gotta eat
sticks.
every 2 hours, like
every 2 hours. Like I made a client a plan and it had 4 meals, and they were like, "Where's the other 2?" There's like, "Where's the other 2? Did you miss like sending part of the document?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, "Well, like 6 meals a day, right?" I'm like, they're like, it was something. I think it was scheduling. Like just for them, it would just been easier to get 4 meals in, right? Like 2 bigger meals, 2 smaller snacks. Boom, that's gonna be easy because you work like a stupid 12-hour day, right? And I was like, how would you eat 6 meals a day? And they're like, well, I don't know. I'm like, then why would you try to eat 6 meals a day? And they're like, oh, like you know what I mean? Like broke it down and educated them, right? But you're right. Everybody's married to just certain ideas.
Totally agree.
So when you, say you're making a plan, and do you have like a list of like 4 or 5 things that you're like, okay, everybody needs to meet this criteria, like water, fiber and stuff like that? Do you have stuff like that you're like, okay, regardless of the person, for health, blah, 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 we need this stuff?
Yeah. So a few things, only basic ones, like I have water depending on the person. So I will like in the plan, I'll make like a minimum water of how many liters you should have.
Yep.
So depending on the size of the man or the woman, like if it's a woman, like I'll just say minimum 3 liters. If it's like a man, I might say my minimum 4 liters.
Yeah.
And then I'll have like, I don't really have anything for sodium. It doesn't matter to me unless they have some previous health concerns.
Yeah.
But I'll do also fiber intake. So same thing. I do fiber basically 15 grams of fiber per 1,000 calories.
Okay.
As like a minimum. So if they're having like 2,000 calories and like 30 grams of fiber, we should hit. Whether it's insoluble or soluble, I don't really make. I don't get too crazy
just
about
get
it.
In.
And then I'll just make sure that we just have vegetables in at least two of the meals.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yep.
Fruit doesn't matter. A lot of plans there's no fruit. But vegetables, just have some vegetables, some leafy greens or some kind of green vegetables.
Yep.
At some point of the day. And those are basically the only minimums. The rest is kind of just depends on the person.
Yep. What about supplements? Do you program any supplements? Like, I guess it would depend on the person, right? Like, is there any, what are your staple supplements, right? For people?
Yeah, staple 3 is a whey, a fish oil, and a multivitamin.
Yep.
And that's basically it. Depending on the person's goal and what they want to do, I'll add more or less.
Yep.
But that's about it. Yeah.
Yep. Any brands that you stick to specifically?
No, not really. I've been using Metagenics for multi and the fish oil lately for most clients.
Sure.
For whey protein, depends.
Whatever's around.
Yeah, whatever they kind of can afford and what they're willing. I do like Isoflex or like Diesel or Dimetize.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Now with people that are like trying to put on muscle and stuff, do you program in like maybe like a creatine or something for recovery, anything like that?
Yeah, if they're open, creatine monohydrate 5 grams a day.
Yep.
That's literally it in terms of supplements. I'm not a fan. I don't really care much about BCAAs. Personally,
other stuff's all hype, right? Like there's a lot of like you might get 1% of a gain, right? And for someone who's like, for me, right, peaking for a show, I'll take every 1% I can get. But for the average people, it's like, and it's expensive, right? At the end of the day, it's like I would rather someone spend their budget on good food versus 3 supplements that are going to give them very little return on investment,
Yeah. So that's basically if it's muscle gain, like I'll always give them like a creatine monohydrate if they're open for it.
Yep.
In terms of other supplements, I really lately have been minimizing.
I agree. Like I think after this prep, I'm gonna try to go like off pre-workout, off the aminos, off. I even take whey out of my diet for a little bit and just try to get like out of the powders.
Yeah. Well, and you feel more satiated probably with the food. So.
Yeah, exactly. Try to get more whole food in.
Yeah, but yeah. So in terms of myself, like I was always huge on supplements. I would always have so many over-the-counter supplements. Like I just use so much stuff. But like I remember at one point I spent it was like $600 a month on like supplements. Like just
I think it was probably like young you, right? Like I remember going through the old magazines and like, do you remember when myostatin inhibitor was a huge thing?
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, I found the secret. I'm getting huge, right? And I remember like you just fall for that shit, right? But you're young, right? And you're impressionable and blah, blah, blah. But like, I remember like reading some stuff and you're like, add 10 inches to your arms in like 2 weeks. I'm like, hell yeah, count me in.
Yo, serious. Yeah.
It's legit.
Yeah, past that. We're past that now.
Yeah, we're over it. All right, dude. Well, I think you got to head back to work here soon, just looking at the clock. So let's wrap this up. Quickly, just going to throw some random questions at you just to get, a little bit more about you. So, favorite body part to train?
Back.
Ooh, back day. I like it.
It always was legs, but back.
Yeah,
yes.
I had to take a break on legs. On back day, what's like 2 or 3 exercises you're going to probably always hit?
Wide overhand lat pull down.
Got it.
And now, recently, I always have a wide overhand barbell row.
Nice. What is like a favorite meal? You're going out with friends or stuff like that. If you get to pick, boys are like, hey, we're going out tonight. You get to pick. What do you want?
So it's always been it depends, right? So usually it's sushi or a good burger place. But between those two, it's toss up, man.
Nice. Tentatively, when do you anticipate stepping on stage next?
Yeah, 2020 summer.
Ooh, okay.
2020 summer. That's what I have my eyes on. I think I should hopefully be ready by then, but we'll see. Yeah.
Classic physique?
Yeah, only classic now. Yeah,
nice.
From now on classic.
Awesome. Right on. What is the biggest struggle as an online coach?
Well, right now it's actually structuring the time to not work too much.
Interesting.
So it's hard to so as in like you can always work like all the time type of thing. So it's like it's a struggle. Like
this thing, right?
You gotta set boundaries. So I'm for me right now, my struggle is I need to set more boundaries.
Okay.
Guidelines of like when we're gonna communicate or guidelines of when things are gonna go on. Sure. Otherwise, I'm just like
all day
on 24/7. Yeah. It's like when I wake up to I sleep, and then when I'm going to bed, like I know there's still more things I gotta reply to. So like I know when I wake up, I gotta knock those out, and it's just I gotta create more structure. That's
nice. So looking at the future, what are your goals? In the industry of fitness.
Yeah. So right now, current goals, what I'm thinking about is growing the brand and the online coaching more.
Yep.
I do prefer to work with physique clients. Yep. Physique oriented clients. So the ideal scenario would be to have most of my clients that were our physique clients,
Yep.
and then actually when I start to reach my limit in my cap, then have coaches under me, and then
Nice.
have those coaches coach people.
Yep.
That's pretty much where the vision's looking at like right now in terms of in industry, and
Yep.
for competing, competing is just for myself. Yeah.
For the fun of it. Right on,
Yeah.
man. All right, dude. Plug your Instagram and stuff, your website, everything. Where can people find you? I'll put it up on screen too, but just shout it out.
Yeah, so my Instagram is at Anthony_Pietrobono. The last name is Pietrobono.
Yep.
And then my website is advphysiques.com, because my company's Advanced Physiques, so
Nice.
the short form advphysiques.com.
Cool.
And then Facebook, same thing. Just search my name, Anthony Pietrobono.
Yep.
Snapchat, Anthony
There we
Bono.
go. Man's on
B-O-N-O.
Snapchat too.
You can snap me there. Follow the stories.
Yep.
YouTube. I forgot I have a YouTube channel. My full name as well. So it's just Anthony Pietrobono. It's my YouTube channel.
Nice.
And that's it. That's where you can find me. Yeah. Just feel free to reach out. Send me any message if you want to talk about something. I'd love to get to know you.
Right on, right on. Where are you located, by the way?
Newmarket. Yeah. So like 30 minutes from Toronto. What about you?
I'm like an hour and a half east of Toronto. So you'd be on the other side, right?
I don't know my north, south, east,
How
and
far,
west, man.
how far are you from Oshawa?
Where do you live?
Belleville.
Belleville?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I know the general area, but
All right.
yeah. So we're probably like an hour. I'm like an hour and a half from Oshawa.
Okay, me too. We'll have to link up sometime, get a lift in. We'll do back day.
Get a back day in. What's your favorite though?
I'm on the same page as you. Back and legs, like they're just such like big muscle groups, and like you can go hard on them. Like
Exactly.
I used to be. I think we were all that like 17, 18. It was arm day, right? Just wanted huge arms, but that kind of like graduates from more intense training sessions, right? Yeah. It's more about like, okay, how can I actually like build my body, right? Curls ain't doing it for me. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, we'll definitely get a training session in.
Yeah, man, for sure. All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate you hopping on the podcast. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll touch base soon.
Awesome, man. Thanks, you too, bro.
All right, thanks, everybody, for watching. Be sure to go follow this guy, subscribe to the channel, find him on Snapchat, YouTube, Instagram, website. He's everywhere. So, all right, buddy. Have a good day, and we'll see you in the next one.
Awesome.
Have a good one, man.
You too, man.